How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you are new to this channel, the reason why we do this, maybe you had a stressful day. Maybe it was the market conditions. Well, you came to watch this video plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. So today we're going to be talking about OCGN as well as some important updates in regards to Covaxin. If you are a shareholder, then you definitely need to know about this because this will have an impact on the stock. But before we get started, let's go over the agenda. And if you're new to this channel, just to let you know, we have timestamps down below in the description because I respect your time. So the first two updates are coming straight out of India from Bharat Biotech, which I think is very key to know because it will have an impact on OCGN. After when we do that, then we're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis. We want to know where are those areas of support as well as resistance. Is it still looking bullish or is it on a downtrend? How patient or impatient are investors? So we're going to be able to tell by taking a look at the overall chart. We're also going to be looking at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. We want to know what is the overall market sentiment? What are the institutions doing? Are they loading up? Where's the big money actually going? I think this is very key, especially if you are a shareholder. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So for the first update coming out of India, Bharat Biotech is ready to share Covaxin formula with other manufacturers. So let's get into it. With several states urging the center to share the formula of COVID-19 vaccines with other manufacturers to increase production, Niti Aayog, member of Dr. V.K. Paul, today informed that Bharat Biotech has welcomed this new agency, ANI reported. Dr. V.K. Paul said, as reported by ANI, people say that Covaxin be given to other companies for manufacturing. I'm happy to say that Covaxin manufacturing company Bharat Biotech has welcomed this when we discussed it with them. Under this vaccine, live virus is inactivated and this is done only in the BSL-3 labs. Not every company has this. We give an open invitation to companies who want to do this. Companies that want to manufacture Covaxin should do it together. Government will assist so that the capacity is increased, as said, quoted by ANI. The announcement came days after several states have been complaining about shortage of vaccines for eligible candidates. Earlier in the day, Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain stated that he has discussed with Union Health Minister Harsh Vardhan that vaccine formula can be shared with other firms to ramp up production, new agency PTI reported. Jain said he raised certain issues during a video conference with Union Health Minister Harsh Vardhan. Last week, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal had also written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi requesting other capable companies to manufacture the two COVID-19 vaccines, Covaxin and Covishield, being already produced in India, and said that the union government should do away with vaccine production monopoly using the patent laws. So the article does continue, but I will be putting in a link in the description if you would like to read further. But just this lets you know how big of a pandemic it is going down in India for the fact that Covaxin or Bharat Biotech, to be exact, hey, they're like, you know what? We're going to share the formula so we can actually ramp up production even further, which is actually really good to see. But again, the question is, will this have an impact and how will this affect OCGN? Now let's go over the second update. Explained how phase 2-3 trials for Covaxin in 2 to 18 age group will be conducted. The trial is expected to study aspects like the safety of the vaccine in this age group, the kinds of adverse reaction it causes, as well as the vaccine's ability to prompt an immune response. India has given Bharat Biotech permission to test Covaxin in children, marking an important milestone in the COVID-19 vaccine development. You guys already know what Covaxin is, so we're going to be skipping that paragraph. So since we already know what Covaxin is, I'm going to skip that particular area, but like I said, you could see an article source in the description. So far, Covaxin has been approved for use in those above 18 years of age, while its safety and ability ability to prompt an immune response is being tested in those aged 12 years to 65 years. The Drugs Controller General of India, the head of the country's top drug regulatory body, has given Bharat Biotech permission to conduct phase 2-3 clinical trials of Covaxin in those between 2 years and 18 years of age. The approval follows the recommendation of a subject expert committee on May 12 to grant such permission. How will this work? The trial will be conducted in 525 healthy volunteers at different sites across the country. These sites are expected to include AIIMS Delhi and AIIMS Patna, as well as the Medadrina Institute of Medical Sciences and Nagpur. The trial is expected to study aspects like the safety of the vaccine in this age group, the kinds of adverse reactions it causes, as well as the vaccine's ability to prompt an immune response. The vaccine will be administered by intramuscular route in 2 doses, 28 days apart. So it's great that it's getting this update, and the reason why it's key for this to actually turn out to be successful, because when OCGN is able to actually get it from Bharat Biotech and being able to target that particular group, they can really have a niche for themselves when they bring it over into the US. But of course, this is dependent on the EUA and whether it goes through, and also on top of that, the FDA approval, which will definitely have an impact on the stock price. So let's get into the other segments of this video. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN that ended up closing today at $8.23, being down 4.41% on the day. On the low, it tested $7.81, and also on the high, testing $9.25. So the first thing we want to take a look at when we see this chart, it is below all 3 of our indicators. It is below the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. We already talked about how key it was for this $9 area of support to actually hold. So part of the reasons why we ended up having a strong sell to going to the downside and testing right here at this $8 level, and then breaking right through it, and then testing around $7.81. But one thing I want you guys to be aware of, we do have some support here at $8, and it's part of the reasons why when it did recover from $7.81 and got back into the 8 range, I wasn't too surprised about that, because like I said in the past, that $8 support does hold. Now, going in for tomorrow, I'd like to see actually this $7.81 level being tested again and being able to have another rebound. But if we end up having continued sell-offs and still having a shaky market, then definitely start looking out for $6.90 and start looking out for this level around $6.17, $6.20. And there's a possibility if the markets really do go red, we're going to be seeing a test right here around this $6 level. If we take a look at the RSI right now down below, it is definitely in that oversold category, being at around 33. We know if it's in the 30 range, hey, you're going to be getting this stock at a pretty good deal. But that's only if you believe in the long-term prospects and you have a lot of conviction to hold through the volatility. Of course, this is dependent on a catalyst as well. So that's why I'd be very careful and make sure you put in some sort of a strategy to minimize your risk. So for OCGN to start looking bullish again, it's definitely going to have to come back to reclaim this $9 area, which it did. It did hit that $9.25 area, and a huge portion of the market did sell off, especially in tech overall in general. So again, it's not only this is not only happening with OCGN, so I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm going to kind of look forward to see how it actually looks for tomorrow and see if it starts actually spending more time in that $7 range. If it does, then I wouldn't be surprised seeing a test to 6, but again, this is pending if we don't get any news. So we're now on fintel.io. We're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership for OCGN, as well as the short interest information. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at what's been going down today for May the 13th, we definitely have a mix here. So we have some institutions who have closed out, like Bank of Montreal, Alpine Global Management, and as well as Cit Investment Associates. But also, let's most take notice of is Citigroup Inc. 404,209 shares with a new position. Definitely taking advantage of the stock price, since it is under that direct offering price of $10. Also, if we take a look at the E-Fund Management Co., they ended up going in 13,866 shares, which is fairly noticeable as well. And we also see Wells Fargo and Company adding to their current position. That's why it's not looking green, with 5,919. If we take a look at to 12th, like I said, a lot of this information got updated today. We didn't see in previous videos, so I didn't bother go through any updates. We can see here on the 12th here, it was looking fairly bullish, right? We have institutions that were adding to their positions. We also have Group 1 Trading, who's also hedging by putting in a put. But again, like I said, we have some open positions here, especially with Rafidi Asset Management on the 10th, going in with 333,000 shares. We also have Northern Trust Group having a total of almost 360,000 shares. So institutions are definitely taking advantage of the dip on OCGN. So if we take a look at the short interest information, short volume ratio stands at 20%. So again, that is just 1% below that 21% that we look for short squeeze potential. And of course, this was updated as of yesterday. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it is around 450,000, updated about 11 minutes ago. And the short borrow free rate stands at 4.38%, updated the same 11 minutes ago. So short volume ratio, taking a look at the history, so it has been going down. So what does this mean? People are not shorting OCGN as much. They're looking at the current price and they're like, hey, there's not too much of it to actually go down in regards to the stock price. So this actually means we're going to seeing a lot more buying and holding going on here, especially since it's not as high as it was previously. So that's something to keep an eye on. Are we near the bottom for OCGN? Hey, that's what it's looking like, but we are not confirming that as of yet. I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated. Hope you enjoyed this. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely not surprised with the selling pressure that we ended up seeing today. We know this stock is very dependent on certain catalysts coming through. So as long as you know that and you can stomach the volatility, you should be prepared for what's ahead. The next thing is what's going down in India. We know from what we went over in regards to those recent press releases that Covaxin, Bharat Biotech definitely has their hands full. The fact that they're also going to be making sure to get this phase started in regards to the trial, testing 2 years to 18 years, I feel it is key, and it will definitely give them a niche, especially when they bring it over to OCGN, because that is a concern going down in the US as well. But also we need to know the fact that, hey, OCGN is actually waiting on Bharat Biotech. We know they have their hands full. So is there going to be further delays? How soon are they going to be able to actually fulfill the request for OCGN, especially on request of that EUA? So it's a lot of things we definitely need to pay attention to. And of course, I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated and inside the loop here. And then just before I finish this video out, I know many of you are saying, hey, should I be selling? Should I be buying? Hey, we're seeing institutions are actually taking advantage of the dip. As far as what you could do with that information, hey, it is up to you. But one thing I have noticed, as far as when we're looking at the short volume ratio, the short interest has been going down a little bit, and it's part of the reasons why. It's something to actually take a look at, because we know they did a direct offering at $10. So we have institutions who are taking advantage of that, and there's not as much shorting going on. So is there more buying and holding? That's what it's looking like. What are they waiting for? Of course, that spike when we get further news. So that's just something to keep you guys updated. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.